Amber Heard's ex just got wrecked by Pink Floyd co-founder Roger Waters as she and others, they tried to cancel the man, and oh man, have they failed badly. We're going to look at this today too. I mean, he takes them to task, and what's hilarious, they've tried to cancel Johnny Depp, Roger Waters, Helen Mirren, companies and more. It always goes this way. Oh, fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. Hey there, by the way, let's get started.
My story is yet another story of cancel culture. Why are they trying to cancel Roger Waters? If we shout the lie loud enough, Roger Waters is an anti-Semite, we'll be all right. We'll get people to believe it. We can vilify him. We can probably destroy him. And we will get him in the end. Well, no, you won't. Because it is a lie. You can gather as many morons together as you want to repeat your lie, but it remains a vicious lie. The narrative that I'm an anti-Semite and that I'm promoting fascism by wearing a leather coat and that I'm heavy symbols which are crossed hammers, by the way, not swastikas or anything that is literally Nazi, Third Reich, German. 40 years I've been doing, 40 years. Every single year almost between 1980 and now, I've been doing bits of that show. Why now? Why suddenly now would people be picking up and going, he's wearing a replica of a Nazi uniform on stage. He's obviously glorifying the Third Reich and Nazism. He's doing that as part of his general attitude, which is that he hates Jewish people. All over, all the press in the Western world, everything, Roger Waters, anti-Semite, glorifying Nazism, wearing a thing. Okay, well, if we could deconstruct that little bit. In my piece, The Wall, at the end of the fascist bit, in the film it's Bob Geldof, when he's the fascist leader, he's singing all this stuff, which I wrote, about who they are. The forces of evil. And they're in the song Waiting for the Worms. They're waiting to take over the world, waiting to cut out the deadwood. Pink, Bob Geldof, internally realizes that he's made a terrible mistake by wanting to become a powerful demagogue and rule the world. That's why he tries himself in the trial. He tries himself for having become a Nazi. So how you can transmogrify this work of theatre into me glorifying the Third Reich and Nazism beggars belief. Don't get me wrong, I may be shouting and I may seem powerful and whatever, but I'm still really upset. I can't believe that they're trying to do this to me. Yeah. I mean, clearly, well, you can hear in my voice, clearly, I'm upset beyond all measure to be called these names. They're deeply, deeply, deeply insulting, not just to me, but to my family, and particularly to my mother and father. My father died at Anzio on the 18th of February, 1944, when I was 5 months old, fighting the Nazis. And when the war broke out and he was called up, he went before the conscription board and declared that he was a Christian and that he'd love to help, but he couldn't join the army because Jesus had told him he couldn't kill anyone. And so he became an ambulance driver and he drove an ambulance all through the Blitz. And then it was there in London during the Blitz that he became politicized and eventually joined the Communist Party. By 1941-42, he had changed his mind and he decided that the need to fight the Nazis trumped his pacifism. So he did his basic training and then he went off to officer training and he was commissioned in the Royal Fusiliers in 1943. Went off to North Africa and a couple of weeks later, boshed on a boat, landed in Anzio to make the new bridgehead, and in the big push by the Nazis, he was killed a couple of weeks later. So they're attacking my dad when they attack me. Not just from a personal perspective, but what an outrage that anybody even for a second, could be speaking about cancelling me. It absolutely denies everything that we ought to be proud of about living in a democracy, or being English, sense of fair play. Matters not who won or lost, it's how you play the game. Mind you, it was an American who wrote that, not some English bloke that's written up at Lord's Cricket Ground. But the idea, even if you disagree with my politics, that I should not be allowed to speak, the fact that people are complaining about me mentioning Anne Frank and Shireen Abu Akleh in the same show, actually in the same song. It's a song called Powers That Be. And I put up the names of victims of violence from all over the world, like George Floyd, right, Blair Peach in England. Everywhere I went in North America, I put up one name from that town. Every town you go to in America, there's somebody who's been murdered by the state or the local police. So when I get to Germany, it's not hard for me to pick some German names. She's there because I'm in Germany. They've been trying to get me cancelled there for months and months and months. And I fought back through the German courts. And I'm happy to say that the local court in Frankfurt, that the judge said, on the basis of the evidence before me, what this man wants to do in this concert hall is clearly not against any law. He should be allowed artistic freedom to express his thoughts and feelings in this piece, which is clearly an adaptation of a longer theatrical piece, which is called The Wall, which he has been performing one way or another and made films of for 40 fucking years. And suddenly now, you're all going, oh, it's anti-Semitic, it's this, it's that, the other. Why now? A lot of my political ideals are fostered through this, mainly following my mother. She once said to me when I was struggling with something or other, she said, Roger, throughout your life, you're going to come up with all kinds of knotty problems, things that you have to wrestle with. This is my advice to you. Read, 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 and then read some more. Find out everything there is to know about whatever the question might be, however long it takes. When you've done that, you've done all the heavy lifting. The hard work is over. What do I do then, Mum? She said, next bit's easy. You just do the right thing. You know, it's not hard. But you do have to do the reading, and you cannot believe what the BBC tells you, because it's completely a mouthpiece of government and the ruling class. You are not being told any of the truth. So what I would suggest you should do is, like my mother would suggest you do, and read, read, read. And don't read the Daily Mail or the Guardian. The Guardian. What is a Guardian of? Ugh. Read what people who know about these things have to say. If my mum was here, she could tell you. When you've done the reading, okay? When you've done the reading, chaps, you've done all the heavy lifting. Just do the right thing. And if you do, their world will crumble, and we will have taken a step towards peace on earth.
Now, he said a lot more in his interview as well, and I would definitely encourage you to check that out. But the point here is that people like Eve Barlow, the reported ex-girlfriend of Amber Heard, and a supposed music journalist, they tried to cancel Roger Waters over what he's been doing for 30 years. I mean, he has gone out, he has pointed a finger at the very thing they say they oppose. Yeah, and they stand up and they try to cancel him, just like they did with Johnny Depp. I mean, the man, he is the aggrieved party. They try to cancel him. They spread lies about Helen Mirren. They've gone after companies for standing up. I mean, it's the same thing on repeat, and I love seeing them get wrecked. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. And as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Thank you. Can't say that enough. Want to help the channel out, by the way? Check out the links. Spread this. Make sure you're subscribed. Appreciate you.